It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
Maybe you're a breakfast person, maybe not. But the audio and video we found this morning is going to definitely sway you one way or the other. If you missed it, it was easily the most discussed thing that we did Monday morning. And it's coming up in a couple seconds in the podcast. Let's go. All right. Hey, welcome in. We appreciate it. I want to welcome Ruben to the show. We've been trading texts all morning. You want to tell everybody what's going on here?
Yeah, we got a house through an auction. You know, I'm always on the hunt for a deal. And, there's no surviving members of the family, so it came at a pretty steep discount. But there were some boxes of stuff, so we were hunting through to see if there's anything good in there. Most of it's absolute, just garbage. It's just been ravaged by the years, so we've had to throw it out. But we did find a box of ashes, and, I'm concerned these could be...
Are you talking like dead people ashes?
Were they in an urn?
Well, yeah, they were in an urn, but it was not decorative, so it's not really clear to me if it could be a person, if it could be, a beloved animal. But either way, I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah. So you don't want to throw it out. What do you do with it?
Good question.
Right. Well, that's what I'm asking. Find some ideas to, dispose of these respectfully in a way that would,
So here's the deal. I do know that like certain religious aspects, at least Christian aspects, is that they have to I don't want to misquote myself.
He doesn't know anything about their religion.
No, I'm just saying, but certain religions, like I know if you're really, 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 really ultra Catholic, like these have to be disposed of in a certain way. Not disposed, that's probably the wrong word, but they have to be put in a certain spot. Otherwise, that soul doesn't get to heaven. I think that's what I heard on the radio once.
Sure. So,
do you want to be responsible for that?
There's no way of you knowing. Like, you've done your research, right? You've exhausted all of your resources in finding out who it could be.
Well, I've tried asking around. Nobody seems to know really who the old owners were because it's been abandoned for quite a while. But I could definitely try reaching out to some local, religious leaders or what have you, like a parish or whatnot.
I don't know. Maybe just a nice, I didn't know you, but I'm sure you were great. Let's throw you to the wind.
I don't think you do that. You can't just go to the lake and dump them, man. Like, I think there's got to be something you follow. There's got to be some procedure you follow to do this the right way.
What is the right way? People do it at Disney. They do it off the back of the train at Disney.
Yeah.
So what's the right way?
Okay, so let's find out. We'll throw this out to our listeners, and if you just want to just kind of turn your radio up, you hear what they have to say, okay?
Thank you.
You find some ashes. I mean, you literally just bury them?
I think if they were that big of a deal, they would have gone with the person who left. I think the fact that he has done some research, tried to track it down, that's as much as you need to do. If you have not found who they belong to.
But then what do you do with them?
Then you just be respectful, pretend like it's one of your loved ones, and go outside and just say a little prayer and release it into the wind. And then that's good. That's it.
I think it's a biohazard. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
You can absolutely do that.
Somebody's
got to know. You don't want your kids to scatter you into the wind anywhere? Like, you said you wanted them to smuggle you on
a little bit of me.
The Cubs field.
A little bit of me. Throw them over the wall at Wrigley. That's fine.
Like the shoulder?
Yeah.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Just, maybe the left heel.
Okay.
But, what are you really supposed to do with this? You find ashes. I mean, are you supposed to go to, a mortuary and say, can they tell if it's your dog or a human by looking at the ashes?
That's just that's a lot of effort, to be honest. And
it's
I know it's a human being.
You got to respect
We don't know
him.
if it's a human. He said he didn't know if it was a human.
Just talked to a guy named Ruben who bought a home, and apparently it had been abandoned for a while. There was a bunch of boxes. They were kind of cleaning it out. They found ashes. They don't know if it's a pet ash, a human ash, a fireplace ash, but he's like, what do we do with it?
He's done his research.
We can't find, who this might be.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he even reached out to people that could have been linked to these ashes is a lot of effort. So the fact that he did that, now you can lay your head down on your pillow and feel okay about.
There's got to be a right way to dispose of these, though, right?
I don't know.
I don't know
what's the wind will just take it.
Hey, good morning, Sarah. How you doing?
Hi, good morning.
A really important question here for you before we get to the ashes. Is it Sarah with an A or an H?
H.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Sarah. That's Sarah with the H.
All right.
Too bad if you don't like it, because haters gonna hate.
Now, what should we do with these ashes, Sarah? What's the right thing to do with them?
Honestly, I would just disperse of them respectfully, like I would if they were somebody else's. Ashes, if they're like human, that's not actual ashes; it's bones. And so,
but it's still
they don't like
someone.
look like ashes from a fireplace. Yes, it could be very well. And so I would just disperse of them as I would if I respected and loved somebody, you know, as if they were somebody I loved.
Like flush them?
So would I wash them and flush them?
Said
No,
flush,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
What do you do with
I
them?
would give them back to the earth.
Yeah, wouldn't you go out like on a road trip, go to the mountains or something, and then just say something
And somewhere
kind?
beautiful.
Yeah,
Driving to Colorado for somebody I didn't know.
I think that's good karma to
I mean,
just go
there's
somewhere
plenty of
beautiful.
places in Minnesota that are absolutely beautiful that, you know, because we have plenty of lakes, plenty of water around here that would be peaceful. Go there, say something nice. May peace be with you. May you lay at rest and let them go. and
Check
be
the
free.
wind first.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
that
don't
would
want
really
it coming
suck.
back in your face.
Yeah,
eh?
right.
So that's the right thing to do with these is just
Yeah.
throw them in the wind? I feel like there's got to be more.
We just said there is
It's
more.
releasing them. Just say something very heartfelt, and you're releasing them into peace.
Ashes to
You know,
ashes,
from
dust to
earth we
dust.
came. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
or
I
like
feel like that's not
I'm
enough.
sure you lived a full life. We honor that life. Have a great.
How do you know they
afterlife.
weren't a member of the Manson clan? You know what I mean? Like, you want to give them a really nice send-off like that if they were a horrible human being?
You just gotta trust.
Why would someone keep that, though? You know what I mean? Like, why would somebody keep the ashes of somebody terrible like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we had to put
Question.
Ben Laden in the ocean so people didn't visit his gravesite and, you know, make it a thing.
I mean, that's a true bill. I highly doubt that that's a high profile like that, though.
How do you know?
I think it's just grandma.
Is there a 0% chance?
I think it's grandma or an uncle, and it just was left behind.
So you'd want Uncle Dave just to be spread out on the front lawn? That seems odd to me.
It's somewhere pretty. Somewhere peaceful.
What's the difference?
Like Devil's Kettle, I hear it's a great place to.
Devil's
put people.
Kettle. I've always wanted to go there. Have you ever seen
Okay,
Megan's
good.
body?
Let's start a
The movie?
GoFundMe.
No.
Let's
Oh.
start a
Yes, I
GoFundMe
have.
for Kat to get enough money to go to Devil's Kettle. We'll hook back up with Ruben. He'll give her the ashes. She'll travel there. She'll spread them. Look at that. We all solved it together. Sarah, you're the best. I hope you have a great morning. I think a lot of us go through this when you're planning out a vacation, especially when it's with a bunch of people, because not everybody likes the same stuff. So you just kind of want to just recap a little bit of what you were telling us over text here.
Okay, well, first, don't judge. I'm planning a big family vacation. I know lots of people don't get to vacation much, but that's not my problem.
Yeah.
My problem is my brother and his family. See, when my family travel, we love to eat the cuisine of wherever we're going, whether it's in another country, in another county.
Yeah.
So everybody's known for different things, right? We love to experience the taste and flavors of places.
That is one rule that our family has when we vacation somewhere. We do not eat where you could normally go, aside from like Starbucks or something.
Sure.
But like we don't go to Subway or anything like that. We have to eat like the locals eat.
Yeah, no, even us for our coffee, we try to even just find like a local coffee place.
Yeah,
you know?
cute.
My brother is so picky, and guess what? His entire family is incredibly picky. He made more picky people on the planet. They have no adventure in their palate. Whenever we travel, you know, they just want to go to fast food places. And this is going to be an international trip. We're going to go to Greece. And he's literally worried about
Yeah.
what to eat because there are not a lot of McDonald's. McDonald's in Greece.
Well, they gotta have at least a couple, but I still think, yeah, I mean, when you get out and it's a different culture, you got to experience what they're eating and what they're doing. I mean, that's part of the fun of traveling.
I think any other excuse aside from allergies, you need to try new things, you know, and maybe you can be the one to help them or at least get your nephews or nieces on board with it. Then they'll be like encouraging their parents to eat better.
I mean, I kind of hope so, but I'm really struggling because I don't want to have one meal at a McDonald's. I don't even eat there now. And my family, we're kind of torn on what should we do. Like, should we just suck it up and have like a couple meals together with them at fast food restaurants?
This is your hard-earned money. This is your vacation. You do whatever you want to do. Like they can go do that, and then you guys meet up at the beach.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of like that idea too. It's a nice way to also get a little bit of a break. But because I wouldn't even know what I would eat. off of a McDonald's menu in Greece. I'd probably just cry the whole time.
Let's do this real quick. I want to see what other people have done when they've gone on vacation with family members who are really picky eaters. How did you get around this? For me, I don't mind the confrontation, so I just go, we're going here. If you don't want to, see you later.
Yeah. And I think everyone should be under that understanding. Like, it's so expensive to travel right now, let alone to go somewhere like Greece. And what a waste of time and resources, though, to only go over there just to not immerse yourself into that culture.
The other thing you're going to realize when you get to these other countries is that food just tastes better because it's not so preserved. It's not full of the crap. But like the pasta isn't the same as we get it here. It's not full of just like the junk we put in ours, and it doesn't weigh you down so much. I mean, how else can some of these cultures have pasta for every meal and not be 450 pounds?
That was one of my worries. Like, aside from the party plane, I don't travel with like multiple people. We just do our family of 3. But then when we went to Winter Park, Colorado, we went with 2 other families, 3 other families essentially. But everyone just kind of was like, this is our money. This is our vacation. Do what you want. And then let's meet up for a fun dinner at night somewhere where they offer everything.
Just to recap Kayla's phone call from a couple of seconds ago, she basically is going to Greece with her family, but it's the brother-in-law and the sister-in-law, and all they eat is fast food. And their biggest concern is there going to be a McDonald's in Greece? And I'm like, that's so ridiculous. You guys are going to travel internationally and not try the local cuisine. That to me seems dumb.
What a waste of money. So her whole thing is this is not their first time traveling together. That's why she says, oh no, here we go again. Because they're already talking about, well, there better be a Subway at the airport or a caribou. There's not going to be a caribou in Greece. But what about traveling with people that are picky eaters? How can she still make this a really awesome vacation?
Again, I get if there's an allergy, right? Yeah. All of that understandable. But otherwise, why wouldn't you just try what they have there? Kim, you been on vacation with a bunch of picky eaters?
Yeah, essentially all summer with the softball team, we travel every weekend with them. And we have a family that's very picky. And as a softball team, they resorted to always having pizza at the hotel. And that's not fun on the weekends. When you're in South Dakota or Iowa or Wisconsin, you want to go out somewhere fun and have a couple drinks. So essentially after the first couple of years of that, I just became the social committee and picked the bar, the restaurant, or the grill. And I post it in advance, and the families that want to go there, which is most of them, and the other families then go and eat their fast food.
That's a great idea.
This for years? You catered to them for years?
That's at least 2-3 years.
Whoa.
We just all ate at the hotel.
This is smart. You go, okay, so you're planning your trip to Greece. There's no reason with the internet you can't get out ahead of this. You know where you're going to be staying. You know what restaurants are close. You put out a quick agenda. Hey, here's where we're going to go for this, and this. You want to roll with this? Great. If not, we'll see you back at the hotel.
They were obviously the cool family of the team, the one that people wanted to hang with, or else they wouldn't, like, you wouldn't hang with the parents that sit way down at the end of the fence and don't talk to anybody. So what was the appeal of just having pizza with them?
I have no idea, other than they were the ones that were always picking and assigning and telling, just telling everybody what was happening.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to stay together.
Sure.
Make it a fun weekend. But they don't eat meat, and they don't like smells of meat, and they are very picky.
Bye.
So
that's fine.
Essentially,
but I like meat, and I'm going to go eat meat, and I'm going to eat meat with other people that like to eat
I'll
meat.
tell you, that wouldn't fly with my husband. If we were traveling, which I think it's like, listen, it's a part of traveling sports. You know, wherever you go, you try to find a cool place in that town. And
has this, last question real quick, Kim, has this caused any kind of a rift in the team at all, or do people just go, all right, we're going to go our own way?
Yeah, no, they understand now. They just go quick, get their noodles with butter on it, and then they get up first.
Are they too?
If someone was just to offer you a free tattoo, would you be skeptical or would you jump at the opportunity? Be here at 6:30 Tuesday morning. You've got to hear what's going on in Milwaukee. In the meantime, let's wrap up your podcast. Imagine you make some new friends. And everybody does, like, you like this. Maybe they play ball with your kid, or they just, moved in down the street. And as you get to know them, you see the wife of the couple post something on Instagram like this.
Muffins are my husband's favorite breakfast. And if you don't know what that is, it is a muffin that you put your discharging. So what I do is I wear a menstrual cup all of the time, and it catches any discharge that comes out, and I just go ahead and put that in the fridge. And that's actually what this bowl here is. It's a I do mix it with some powdered sugar so it tastes good, but that's discharge and powdered sugar, and I put it in the fridge, and it kind of thickens up over time, and I make a bunch of baked goods with it because it just adds like this little bit of a sour flavor. And I know everybody tastes different, but I taste a little sour, he says, so it just adds like this sourdoughy flavor to it. Kind of like your own sourdough starter. My husband recently got a new job, and he has to get up extra early, so he hasn't really had time to eat in the morning, if you know what I mean, because I don't wake up early. And so I decided I would just keep muffins in the fridge all of the time, and he could just grab it and go and get a little taste of me every day.
You're slowly killing people. They are not handling that audio well.
That was jarring.
It's too early. Ryan, Cody, not my choice. Ryan actually says throw some Fairlife chocolate milk in there too.
Why not? I mean, it's
for the flavor.
I just
it is absolutely not true.
Can you be friends with that person? Weird. And she's scooping out the batter and putting them in muffin tins. I mean, she looked like she was getting. This woman kept a straight face the entire time, like she was trying to be an influencer. I don't think this is fake.
Mm-hmm.
I think this woman is absolutely. I don't think she knows how odd it is.
Yeah, no, I think that it's one of those shock and awe. I'm just going to say it, see how far it goes. Some people don't have Jennifer as a mom. Like, if I were to even think, I mean, there are things that I think are so innocent, and they normally are, but she is heightened to it. I can't imagine not having anybody in
But what
my
if
life
your
to
husband
police
said,
that.
hey, I heard you guys talking about this morning. I'd like to try this. Would you be willing to help him out?
I'd like a divorce. Then, because there's no way I'm living that life. I'm not a freak. That's a freaky thing to do. That's
what if
really
you
weird.
just slips him in without him knowing?
This isn't a health benefit.
That's assault,
thing.
right?
That is gross. You cannot put your bodily fluids in somebody else's food. You can't put your hair on there on purpose. You can't put your nails on purpose.
Eric, we listen and we don't judge. No.
Yes, we
listen
Eric.
and then we judge the hell out of everything. That's not ever been a motto of this show.
Ashley, Marsha, Craig, I agree. Please stop. We're not going to air that again because that was disgusting.
How much would it take for you to eat one of her muffins?
$1 million.
You wouldn't do it for $1,000?
No, I would not do that for $1,000. Then I'm that girl that ate a schmooter cake for $1,000. A couple in Virginia is accusing a Starbucks of not helping them when they had a medical emergency. So this woman's husband, Kevin, he has kidney disease, and all he needed was a glass of water. The guy that was at the front till, he's like, nope, you got to get in line. And this guy almost passed out.
I could have possibly blacked out. It could have had a more dramatic impact on my body. My kidneys could have possibly just shut down.
And he just started sweating. He's like, I don't feel well. He started leaning over, and then he started vomiting. And then I repeated what I said. I'm like, but my husband, he's in kidney failure. We just need ice water quickly. And he looked at me again and was like, you need to get in line.
Oh, man, where are we at? Where are we at? Well, we need some more empathy in this world.
That's a poor human move.
Yeah, it's not like they're like, we need a Trenta cold brew with 2 pumps of vanilla and a splash of cream. Please, I have kidney disease. He needed
that sounds very
water.
specific.
I know, it's my order. Do you roast Trisha a lot, or do you not want to die?
No. I do. I do in front of our friends.
That's brave, man.
I don't, because there's protection in a group.
Yeah.
I've heard protection.
Hold me back.
But I don't normally at home because it turns diabolical. She gets mean. She doesn't like to joke. She just likes to cut. And she'd be like, "Oh, you're fat and bald," and I'm like, "Oh God, dang! I was just playing around with you."
It goes deep. Yeah, I think that the best relationships are when you can razz each other, knowing the other one is just kidding to a certain level, but you can take it. And I love these two because this is...
Here's a few things that my husband loves to do that drive me crazy. The other day, he asked me if he could touch my hair because he said it looked really soft. So I lean into him like this. He puts his finger on my lip. He puts his finger in my mouth when I yawn. Having somebody ruin your yawn is the worst. Guys, I've been dealing with this for almost 20 years.
Yeah, but
I
she
didn't
loves
know
it. You can hear her giggle.
I knew karate so well. Like, Derek will come by me and I'll see his hand getting ready to maybe flip a schmitty or, grab it or swipe the credit card. And I'm like, And I feel like I've mastered the moves already. One time I really impressed him. I had a plate in this hand, a cup in this hand, drop the cup, So I just feel like I've mastered that.
It would
part
be a
of
tough
marriage.
life if you weren't able to hammer on each other a little bit.
I think so. I have a cousin, and she and her husband are so serious. It is uncomfortable. And I'm like, really? Are you guys like this all the time? And I think they are. And I don't know.
That would be rough for me.
That'd be really rough. So I don't know when they giggle. I don't know, what they giggle about. But I would love for you to text in right now, or you can give us a ring. But what is the best part of your relationship? Is it you guys like to sit there and people watch and comment? And Derek and I do the same thing.
We always go out to a happy hour with a bunch of baseball parents. We'll try and find a day during the week, and we'll schedule it out. And we've got one guy, Kirby, who's really, really good at scheduling it and then finding the bar. We'll all go out and have some appetizers and stuff like that. And one dad had asked, well, how did you guys ever meet? And I'm like, well, I got to tell you, it was a pretty low point in my life, and I was slumming. Everybody jokes it off, but then he brings it up all the time.
Yeah.
And then my wife will be like, that slumming comment. It was funny at the time. And I'm like, I'm not the one that keeps bringing it up. You got to be careful about that, because if somebody keeps regurgitating it, then it becomes kind of a sore spot.
Yeah.
And I mean, clearly I was. And so it's not that big of a deal. She just can't accept the truth. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see these texts come in. Hit us up, 320-251-1047 if you want to chime in on this, because I think being able to admit that and being able to have a genuine understanding of it makes it not so brutal when it goes through.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo what bingo? Bingo! Bingo!
Listener bingo is always my favorite part of the show, because I get to get your story on the radio. But do you fit one of the following two criteria? Maybe you're somebody listening who
has twins, and you have found it impossible to tell them apart.
Kevin! Mama's talking to you. Come here. Come say hi. Come here, Liam. Who are you? Are you Kevin or Liam?
I'm Kevin.
You're Kevin? Oh, you are.
That kid's old enough to talk, and he still can't tell them apart?
You hear him behind him. He goes, no, I'm Kevin. I'm not Liam. I'm Kevin.
Jeez.
So, yeah. But my cousin, Stephanie, had twins, and now they've come into their own. They look a little bit different, but they're 23 now. It has taken me, no joke, 23 years. I have not been able to tell them apart. So you had twins. You found it impossible to tell them apart. What'd you do?
I'm looking for anyone listening who has been in a big-time rollover accident. Like, you flipped several times. I always think these are the craziest when you hear about people that rolled their car over and over again and lived to tell about it. I was watching Ricky Bobby over the weekend, and then I just sat there going, well, that's impossible to live through something like that.
Yeah.
But
scary.
Maybe you did. How's Dakota doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you guys
We're
today?
great. Thanks for joining the show. You get the bingo, but which one do you fit?
The rollover accident.
Oh, tell us about it. How bad was it?
Yeah, it was really bad. So actually, a little disclosure. I wasn't even going to call, but then I heard it a second time, and you guys hadn't had a listener yet, so I decided to call.
That was called the setup,
no,
so don't act
really...
like we're a failure, okay? That's called the setup.
We just fail all the time, so it's okay.
All right, so what happened to you? It sounds scary.
No, just 'cause I don't love to talk about it. I was 16, and my friends and I ended up skipping school, and we had left for the day or whatever, and we were in this accident. It was a rollover accident. I don't know how many times the vehicle rolled, because a lot of it's still a blackout.
Guesstimate, though, like after you look back on the accident, how many times do you think you guys rolled over?
From what I've heard, probably 4 to 5.
Holy crap.
That is crazy. And how did you end up? Upside down, right side up, on your side?
Ejected from the vehicle.
Oh, my God.
Did you have your seatbelt on?
I believe my seatbelt broke. There was another girl, one of my friends, that she was not seatbelted, and she was also ejected from the vehicle, and she passed away.
Oh, my God. No, I can see why you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, and I had serious injuries myself. But, yeah, so that was pretty crazy, and I've lived that. And, yeah, so now I've always been on this journey of, like, well, God gave me a reason, to still be here.
What kind of injuries did you end up kind of walking away with?
Yeah, so I fractured my C2 and C5 vertebrae, which is very serious. That should paralyze you in an instant, if not kill you. I did that. I ended up having to have knee surgery. I had scalp injuries, buttocks injuries. I was in the hospital for about a week and then a neck brace for about 3 months after that.
How long until you felt comfortable behind the wheel again?
Oh, years.
So, how do you think
it's been?
How did the other families react to you? Like, did they say you shouldn't have? You know, there's always going to be that. Why did you live and my daughter didn't live? Did you have interactions with them like that?
Yeah, no, so I wasn't the driver. There was 3 of us, actually, and the driver, I don't know how this seems to always happen, but, like, ended up just having, like, seatbelt marks, you know, and it's, like, I don't know how that stuff seems to always happen. But, no, as a passenger and stuff, like, the families, even to the driver, we were all really good friends, and the parents were very, very supportive. They're very loving. Her dad still, once in a while, checks up on me. It's been 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they were really, really.
Now, do you have kids of your own? And if so, how are you going to be as far as when they first get their license and stuff?
Yeah, I do. I have a 1-year-old. I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you give it plenty of thought when she gets to be, or they get to be 13, 14, 15, and they start thinking about driving.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm really glad that you called in. I'm sure that that's something you think about often, and that can't be easy. So thank you for
we appreciate your time this morning and letting us know how big of failures we are. That's always fun.
It's a setup.
You're the best, Dakota. Thank you. Have a great morning.
I sent her the text. I'm identical twin.
Oh, you are? Okay, so how did they tell you apart?
So it's funny because Kat had mentioned painting our toes, and that's exactly what they did for a few years before we actually developed. Each of us had like a birthmark that developed enough where they could tell us apart by that then.
So where's the birthmark? Is it easily identified? So if you're walking at me, I know if it's you or not, or would you have to like lift up your armpit and show your mom?
Yeah, no, it's hidden.
Okay.
So what's your twin's name, Marcus?
Adam.
And how many times over the course of your life have you been called Adam, if you had to nutshell it?
I don't thousands. I mean, we still get mixed up today.
If both of you guys
crazy.
showed up at the studio right now, would we be able to tell you apart?
It would be difficult, I would say. Especially if we wear the same thing and, have the same haircut, same beard and everything like that, it'd be hard.
Have you ever swapped with chicks?
Ooh,
like to see if they knew, like maybe you're a different kisser than he is?
We always joked about that and said, no, we wouldn't want to do that to the other girls.
Oh.
Fair enough. Last question, though, real quick. How long into life did you guys get before you were like significantly different people?
It was college, I want to say, before we really started doing things differently. I mean, we're pretty close, so same group of friends and, still hang out and everything like that.
Did you guys end up going to the same college, too?
Yep.
Oh, like everything.
Wow.
And you live like a mile apart from each other right now?
About 30 minutes apart.
Okay, well, that's far enough, I guess. And last question. I know I said that before, but I've always got so many questions for twins. Like, is this a thing where, like, if he hits his hand with a hammer, you can feel it?
Oh, we've had weird things like that happen where something, like, won't feel right, and I'll call him up and be like, hey, did you just do something with your leg or something like that? Oh, my God, I was working on something and I hit it. And I'm like, oh,
this is so crazy.
Creepy.
Yeah, I just had a weird feeling, and I was like, and it happens more than we care to, have it happen.
At ESP, that's crazy.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was filled with a ton of stuff. Did a barbecue rib contest judging situation, so that was fun.
So hold on, you got to eat everybody's ribs and then tell them who was the best.
And that's a dream come true.
Yeah,
for
that
me.
sounds pretty awesome.
I love judging and I love ribs, and so to put them together, it was awesome. Friday, pretty chill. And then what else did we do? Oh, Liam and I went golfing. Well, I drove the cart and he golfed. Good first round of the season.
Sure.
Beautiful weather.
As long as you don't lose too many balls.
I had some white Zin in my cup and then ended with meeting some friends at the clubhouse and had some apps there. And it was just a really great Saturday. Sunday, went to church, went to look at a house, put an offer in on a house.
That a girl?
Listen, I was up from 1:20 this morning until 3.
You're planning everything out already? They haven't even accepted your offer.
I was like, all right, so this is where I'm going to put this, and this is where I'm going to put this. I don't know if they're going to accept it. And then if they don't, then we're out nothing and we move on with our life. But it's just, God, it's like when you buy a lotto ticket and you have it spent already.
So you're prepared for the rebuttal, though, right?
I'm. What do you mean?
Like they're going to come back with another number.
I won't come back with another number.
So this is it. It's one offer and only.
And I offered $1,000 over.
You're too far in now. If they come back and they say we need 4,000 more, you're going to do it.
No,
you are. Yes, you are.
Like, I'm too young for my heart to feel so tight. I was like, and I got to stay strong. You know, like I'm the rock of the two guys, and they looked at me, and I was kind of like gazing off out the window, and they asked me like, "Are you okay? Are you crumbling? What's going on?" And it's a lot.
Have you prepared for the we've got to sell our house and it's got to get right situation yet? That for me was the worst because I had the most free time. It was in a last year when we sold our place. It was in a season where I wasn't coaching anything. So all of my spare time was either chasing my kid to a hockey rink or painting, patching, decluttering. Like that's a move.
But I've been decluttering for 2 years.
So you're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, we are in a really great spot with that. Our house is extremely clean and well taken care of, except for our main suite, like above the garage. That's where our bedroom is. We have a gorgeous built-in walk-in closet that we just had done. But like our bathroom needs to be painted. We have some chips in the walls in our bedroom, and I want to get that painted. And I'm like, we won't have time. It's in the next 72 hours if we work to.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
How? When?
And they can come in and take pictures and gloss that over if you're going to.
I don't want to lie to people.
You're not lying. It's going to get painted by the time they move in, right?
No.
Okay. Well, then that's going to be part of their walkthrough.
But
They're going to say
literally the only room that they would have to take care of. Everything else, the paint is, basically done and ready for them to move in.
You're in for a whirlwind. When will you find out if they accept your offer?
I don't know. How long do they take? I mean, these people are like ready to move.
I think legally you can take up to 72 hours, I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, think about that. What if they don't come back till Thursday morning? You're going to be a freak show.
And it's like the worst week to do it. I'm running our town festival. It's like, why? Why did I do that to myself? You know why? Because I looked out the freaking window and I saw the view of what we're paying for. And I'm like, that's it. That's what's up, man.